Yeah, I'll have an apples. We don't have nothing to share.
Nothing to share on the right ones.
We will now reconvene into open session at 5:01. Okay, report closed session action. The board will take an action, report action. There was nothing.
We don't have any.
There was nothing.
to report out.
Okay. We will now do the Pledge of Allegiance, and I believe we have some students here. Turn it on.
Push the button on the bottom.
You know, this is what happens when you're trying to look at it. And for those of us who wear glasses, right? Okay. So you guys want to just introduce yourself and lead us in this? Go for it.
Want to go first?
Just go for it.
Hello, Madam President, members of the board, and Superintendent Holton. Thank you for inviting us today to lead your meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. My name is Joseph Devon.
And my name is Bryson Kerr. We're sixth grade students from Studios at Central Middle School.
Saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States is like making a promise to be faithful, loyal, and true to our country.
When we say the Pledge of Allegiance, we honor our flag and everything it represents. Saying the Pledge of Allegiance instills a sense of patriotism, pride for all people.
We say the Pledge of Allegiance to start our day at school, to begin official meetings or ceremonies, and we honor the flag at special events like ball games.
It's an honor to lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Salute. Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Now, gentlemen, before you head out, I have a couple of questions for you. First of all, we have some certificates for both of you, but I also understand that you just got back this afternoon, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell the board where you're at?
We
Sierra Nevada.
Oh.
We were at Sierra Nevada Journeys. It's an outdoor camp.
Now, I got some hard questions for you, and I know I haven't prompted you to this. How was it?
I liked it over there because it was very fun because they had basketball courts and there was rock climbing and a lot of rope swings.
I liked it because well, you said the rock climbing, it was very fun. It stepped me out of my comfort zone of my fear of heights. And yeah, it was like fun with the squirrel flying. So we're like, you get attached to a rope and some other people are also attached and they will run and you will go up.
Tell them they should go.
Yeah, you guys should all go. It's pretty fun.
Thank you very much. Again, the sixth grade at the studios went to a 3-day outdoor camp we approved a couple months ago, and they had a great experience. We're glad you guys all came back safe and sound. And thank you so much for leading us with the pledge this evening. Come on up here and shake everybody's hands. You could. They were-
Picture with them.
Okay. My board president says I have to take a picture with you guys, so.
Yeah, we got our phones up too.
Anybody wants to take a picture? Thank you again. The last question I asked those two boys if they recommend that we send next year's sixth grade back up there, and they resounding yes. So glad to hear you guys had such a great experience, and thank the board for approving that trip for our sixth graders.
It's amazing. Okay, we'll now move on to the comment section. Comments and announcements by the board members. Sandra Barnes.
So I got up this morning and last week I was invited by one of your teachers to come and read for Dr. Seuss Week. The first graders at Stanford. So we got to go and pick a couple of books to read to the kittens, and it was just a blast. They were so much fun. Several of the students were correcting me in my reading capabilities. Clearly, I don't know how to read Dr. Seuss, but that's okay. I was impressed. It was a blast, absolutely a blast.
Thank you. Beth Parmentier.
Thank you. I wanted to start off by thanking Mrs. Cooper for getting Screenagers going for us. Attended that, and her other colleagues that helped with that. I thought it was a good turnout, and I really enjoyed the documentary. That was very interesting. Hoping we can perhaps show it again, maybe even to the middle schoolers, something to talk about them.
So I did approve today to continue at a much cheaper price, continue to have the copyright so that we can show it at individual schools in the future.
Very nice, yeah.
Thank
It's
you.
very informative, and I hope everyone in the community is able to go see it. I also have been able to attend some site visits with Dr. Holtum, and I'm really enjoying those, finding the students very engaged, the classroom is very inviting. Custodial and maintenance doing a wonderful job on our sites, looking beautiful everywhere we go. I also was able to attend Wyandott's Carnival Night, which I had a lot of fun doing that, a lot of good turnout there. I was also invited to read. I went yesterday to first grade and enjoyed reading for Read Across America. And hope other sites reach out and ask us to come visit them too. I'd love to come to your site and read or join an activity. Thanks.
Okay, Daryl Thompson.
Yeah, I'd like to second the what Beth said about the Screenagers. Great film. Thank you guys for putting that on. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen it yet, go see it. It was awesome. If anybody with kids, I think will benefit greatly from that. So thank you for that.
Bill LaGrone.
I have no comments at this time.
Well, I'd like to comment. I just appreciate seeing the kids here that do the Pledge of Allegiance. I think that is amazing that they come up here and they state what the importance is to them. I also have been on site visits with Spencer, and I've gone to Ophir, and I think that Ophir is doing a wonderful job, very engaged. Everybody is very on top of things, and the students, when they see Spencer come in, they not only see a McDonald's sign over his head, but they see, they just love Spencer and they engage with him and, they're very studious and it's just amazing to see just how they're working in the schools and the principal, how she just is on top of stuff. She was running. She had her boots on that day and she earned her paycheck that day. So, Spencer, would you like to comment on anything?
Yeah, thank you. So, Jen Cooper, I did a shout out to the entire district staff via email last week, acknowledging all her work along with Angie Moreno, our educational specialist, and then the rest of our counseling team that in our other educational therapists, our school counselors and social workers. They did an amazing job pushing that out. We had a pretty good turnout, and we have renewed that copyright so that we can show that at all the schools. But thank you so much. There was a lot of work, Jen, and we, Miss Cooper, and we appreciate all that. It was really worth doing. And then I know some of you are also going to comment on this, but I'd like to publicly thank and congratulate Lori Gaines, Principal of the Year, for the Association of California School Administrators. Not only did she win the area Principal of the Year, but she's also moving forward to the Regional Principal of the Year, and that's going to be that awards assembly is going to be on March the 21st, and I'm trying to get tickets to go to that. So far I'm striking out, but I'm trying. But done a lot of site visits with our board over the past couple weeks and really appreciate their involvement. All of our board members are totally involved in our community and a lot of things that we're doing around here, both inside and outside of our school, and like to just thank them for being so present in our community and in our schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew James.
Good evening, everyone. Just a few things I would like to report on. If you've been around the district, you've seen a lot of new play equipment going up. You've seen shade structures going up, and you've seen the skeletons of the sports pavilions are more or less in place at the studios at Central and at Ishii Hills Middle School. We're very excited about the sports pavilions. We don't know the date quite yet, hoping for May, and I think we'll have maybe a couple of weeks ago, we had the first of its kind training day for new clerical staff at the district office where for a little bit of time each and really got some skills built up to try to help get them going in their new careers. And lastly, we've been working a lot this month on AI research. I've been working with teachers and I'd like to thank them, the ones that have provided feedback. We have a lot of teachers that are using AI tools already, and they're using a variety of AI tools. It seems like the middle school sophisticated than our preschool teachers tools they're using, but types of information out of it. And a couple of things that I just wanted to say, I think the next big question is going to become putting in the hands of students that this is where we purchase to make sure it's a safe environment. When are we going to do you think that to be an essential job skill for the students of Oriole City Elementary today, when they graduate high school, they're going to have had to use effectively what it's doing is completely changing the way that we interact with information on the internet. So you think about when the internet first came out and we knew about email, type them up, and it sort of replicated things we already knew. This is that next big step that's going to take a lot of that information, but it's all about understanding how to ask the right questions, how to engineer those questions to get the information that you need, and how to re-ask and also look critically at the information that you've been provided, because AI collects information. Right? So it's gonna be careful eye on what that information is. So I'm also looking at what kind of policy the board might put in place as an AR. Or as part of our software policy as far as what acceptable uses are gonna be. It's gonna be very. But it is gonna have some nuance because of the way that AI works. But with some of the things that we've looked at, some of the vendors, it'd be a lot like if a student was on for things that were appropriate or anything, it would report to staff. So we could shut that down just like we do with GoGuardian now. So we're looking for those same safeguards, the same guide rails. But we do feel like this is going to be something that is going to be absolutely critical for our students and for the youth of our community to be able to compete for jobs in the future.
Thank you. Troy Cox.
Yeah, so I did provide a report for each of the board members this evening. Some of the highlights that I wanted to talk about was we had our middle school visits, the February 24th and 25th. Our emissaries from DOJ came, and I was able to walk through both days with the one of the emissaries that's actually using the walkthrough tool that we use to make sure that we are meeting all the requirements of the settlement. And I'm happy to report that both schools received high marks. We received very high praise from them as far as what we're doing, our programs, the interaction between students and teachers, as well as the instruction, positive reinforcement. So we had a very good visit, very good. Each of the afternoons, Monday and Tuesday, we met and debriefed about how the day went, what they saw, what we saw, and we commented on them. Both days were very positive. So we had a great visit, good work by our middle schools. And also our continued DOJ work. We held our mid-year with DOJ with the actual attorneys, and we are on track. We are meeting the requirements, which requires a lot of extra paperwork by our site admin. So there's a lot of work that they have to do to ensure that we're documenting everything that we're doing. So we're doing our best to stay on track to keep that up, and everybody's happy at where we're at and where the progression is. And our DOJ attorneys will come do their annual visit on March 25th. So that's coming up with DOJ, which will lead us to the end of the year discussions and hopefully some positive news at that time. So we'll see. As well as today was our district-wide correlation, our Vital PLC. It was the second time we've given the inspect and the second time our teachers have been able to come together at the district-wide PLC level to discuss data and interventions moving forward. So, thank you.
Thank you, Troy. I have a question. So when you said that the DOJ, we received high marks. So when we are on track, so are we like just at minimum, or have we rised above their expectations of what is needed in order to settle?
I will tell you that the term that is being used is that Orville is a model district for the ones that they're working with. We're often used as the district that is involved in these situations. We're referred to as the district that is exceeding expectations. And we're referred to as the school to the schools that are doing what we should be doing.
Thank you.
Sure.
Holly Gutierrez.
I would like to start the evening by thanking Jennifer Cooper definitely for the event. It was great to be out there. I took my own daughter and she really enjoyed the event. Definitely the raffle, right? So there was buy-in there and popcorn and stuff, but it was a really great event, a great way to connect with our community. And thank you to Beth and Daryl for visiting SDO. The staff was excited to see board members there and touring. And I know the kiddos were excited just to see new people because they always are. But thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to comments by the public. At this time, the board will extend invitation to interested parties who wish to speak on matters which are school related. For those attending remotely who wish to comment, use your raise your hand button to be called on to speak. Is there anybody online, Andrew?
There's not.
Thank you. We will now move on to presentations.
Comments. The comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person.
Okay.
Right there.
Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person and 20 minutes per subject.
Do we have anybody here?
Oh.
I just, Spencer kind of recognized Lori Gaines, but I just wanted to recognize her as our AXA Principal of the Year. She's my colleague and appreciate all that she's done at ISHE and all the hard work she's done. She's not here tonight, but I just wanted everybody to know that we're all backing her on that. And I also wanted to thank the board. I loved seeing the board visits. This is a great thing, having you guys in our classrooms, in our schools, seeing everything going on. So that's mine. Yeah.
You're here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I know you all used to seeing me with the Youth Intervention Program, but I also want to introduce another opportunity for you all, and hopefully we can talk about this in the future. But I'm a part of another organization that will extend the opportunity to take students and board members to China. I know you mentioned AI, Andrew, and this would be an opportunity to learn more about AI and to it's a culture exchange experience. I talked to Principal Zhang about it, and together last year we did a culture exchange event at his school, and he did one this year. So this is an opportunity to do another culture exchange, but to take the board and students to China. So I would like to talk more to you all about that, and I would like to bring our representatives here to talk about it in the future.
Thank you. Will there may be any more comments by the public?
Miss Lisa.
Okay, well, I guess Siri wants to say something.
I know, I thought I turned it on. It's off.
Okay, we will now move on to presentations. OSCIA Youth Intervention Program Proposal.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Madam President, Madam Vice President, Dr. Holrom, and board members, it's just an honor and a privilege, and we want to thank you for this opportunity, giving us this forum and this space to come and share some very important and exciting information and news in regards to the YIP program. It's the acronyms, it's the Youth Intervention Program. Once again, my name is Kevin Thompson, and we're just excited to have an opportunity to stand before you today. I'm going to be calling shortly here, Miss Courtney. She's going to come back and she's going to take us further. I was just so excited as well to see those the site visit at the Orville Southside Community Center. What a blessed time we had with Mr. Thompson and Beth came out along with Dr. Hold'em, and I think we had a very productive opportunity to share with each other. Our program is very I wouldn't say progressive, but it's a very comprehensive program that have really touched and enhanced the lives of not only our young people, the children that you entrusted us with to our program, but also the family and the parents. And I'm going to ask Courtney if she would be prepared to share more on that. But when we look at mainly our four programs that we have, that's academics, is most important, fitness and nutrition, conflict resolution. We didn't know the conflict resolution was going to bring out so many wonderful opportunities to kind of knit families back together, in their participation, and then the behavioral health portion of it. I just wanted to share those four items, namely, but more than anything else, we just want to let you know it's a very positive, productive program. It's being voiced abroad, just how important it is to have this kind of fellowship and the trust that you have in us. And north of San Francisco, we couldn't find anywhere that a program like this is happening. So pretty much this is a poster child of something that's great. I believe that it's going to be something that's going to be imitated, throughout the school districts and communities that coagulate the efforts and come together for the betterment of our community, our family, and most importantly, our children. So once again, I want to tip my hat to each and every one of you. It is our hope and prayer that we can continue this awesome program. Working together, we're better together. So at this time, without any further ado, we promise to be good stewards over your time tonight. So I'm going to ask Ms. Courtney if you would come back at this time. And we do have a couple of our employees. We have Mr. Levi Ness with us. We also have Ms. Callie Turner. And these are the faces that you'll see every day if you came to the Orville Southside Community Center. So without any further ado, Ms. Courtney.
Me too.
Here with me, yes.
I didn't cut my hair.
Hello, everyone.
Fault, y'all.
Today, I stand before you to share a remarkable journey of our youth intervention program. Over the past few months, we've launched this pilot program with the vision to empower our youth through academic excellence, fitness, nutrition, and positive behavior changes, both in school and at home. And I'm thrilled to report to you that the results have exceeded our expectations. In the realm of academics, we have witnessed significant improvements. Students who once struggled to engage with their studies are now showing increased motivation and participation. Grades have risen, and with them, self-esteem. This is not only merely the numbers, it's about initiating a passion for learning that inspires our youth to strive for their dreams. Perhaps one of the most profound impacts we have seen has been the behavior of our students. The skills learned through our program, the communication, the teamwork, the resilience, are all transitioning into positive change, both in the classroom and at home. And teachers have reported fewer disciplinary problems, and parents have shared stories of newfound respect and responsibilities among their children. Parents, when they drop their kids off, sometimes they even stay and hang out and help us with throughout the program. And this holistic development have helped to create a nurturing environment where our kids can thrive both academically and socially. We also have kids that went from F's to A's and B's. And then we have kids that has increased their behavior both in school and in home once we transition them. And I was talking to Principal Zhang just outside, and I asked him how was one of our students doing who just transitioned. And he, just put this big smile on his face, and he was just shocked at how good he's doing. And so the program is actually working. We received text messages from parents, and one of them said, "I would like to thank you, Mr. Levi and Courtney, helping improving of Joseph's behavior and schoolwork. He has been amazing since he started you guys' group at school. I just want to thank you so much." And this was a text message that we got today. And also we found out earlier this week that one of our students has went up a grade level, because sometimes when we get the packets, we finish the packets in a week packet in like 2 days, 2 or 3 days, and we start giving them our own work. And sight words is one of the things that we've been really pushing, because we realized when the students got there, they couldn't even read the directions of the work. And now they are reading, and we had a competition going on, and we had one student to read like 20 books in 2 weeks because he was determined to win, but now they are learning to love to read. And so so the program is working. Now, it's not all peaches and cream. We have a lot of students. We had to call the school officer today. Yeah, we did. But he came in there, he was able to talk to the student, and the student calmed down, and he was motivated when he walked out. So those are some of the things. So in this presentation, you already have the executive summary and the introduction. You already know about it, but we have 2 goals here that we're trying to do. Number one, we're trying to increase the school amount of students from 20 to 30, because we figure if we increase it, it'll have a bigger impact. And with increasing it, first of all, we are understaffed. So we do need more help. And with this, of course, increasing it is we're asking for more funding. And with that funding, we would like to hire at least 2 part-time employees to help us with this program. And the other reason, the other goal that we're here is to talk about potentially extending to next year. Since this was a pilot program and we see that it worked, we would like to extend. But of course, you know, that'll be another conversation at another meeting. Some things that there are a lot of things that we still need in order to keep the program going. So those are the 2 reasons that we're here. So we do have a lot of success stories, and we put 3 of the success stories on the board, but I also talked to you about some of the success stories that we already have. We have tons of success stories of this program. And so the program was definitely built on academics, fitness, and nutrition, because we have a personal trainer that come in there and train them. And then conflict resolution. We have conflict resolution classes that we do every single week. We even do boxing, but they learn how to dodge situations just like they dodge those punches. So we teach them, we teach them that as well. But most importantly, behavior, because a lot of the students, we initially wrote this program for the independent study, but it turned into a whole behavior thing. So we have the students that the teachers don't want in the classroom. So just imagine what we go through. But we have a lot of fun educating activities to teach them how to work together and how to, you know, interact during recess. Okay, so the costs you already have, and like I said, we have 3 paid staff from this funding. That's myself, that's Levi, and that's Callie. And so, you know, other than that, we depend heavily on our volunteers to help us with this program. So we have tons of people who volunteer to help us with giving those students one-on-one. And that's my part. And I would like to turn it over to Levi because he worked directly with the students and their behavior.
Good evening, guys. Sorry for my unprofessional presentation. Please picture me as the picture that she made, because that's how I should look this afternoon. I want to start off by highlighting our district partners, all the counselors, all the therapists that come and visit and take time out of their schedule and prioritize our students. Much of our success is attributed to them and their willingness to meet with our students and to help be that professional counseling person that comes in. I'd also like to highlight our tutors. Without our tutors, the program would have failed after the first month because it is tutor-driven, which means we can only provide one-on-one attention by having tutors for every student. That means we need 20 a day, and we only have 16. And some of the growth aspects of our tutors and students working together is we have at-risk youth helping our at-risk youth. And the youths that are tutoring in there that aren't a part of the program are students from mine around the community who have earned my trust, who have earned the trust of the court system, and who we are very, very proud of because they're dedicating their time. They're on independent study. They don't have to be with us. They're not doing their work with us. They're doing their work at home, and they're coming to serve to make an impact. And that is the heart of the tutoring program, that people want to be there. They don't have to be paid to be there, but incentives are great. The SEL part is my favorite, social emotional learning, because as we help these students understand their emotion, understand what it means, be able to express it, it breaks loose so many barriers, and then we can help them with their academics. When we didn't focus on their emotional and their mental health, it was just kind of running into a brick wall repeatedly every day because there was too many barriers to prevent them from executing what we're asking them to do. And so again, highlighting our district partners and the counselors that come in, being able to take part in the behavioral intervention plan meetings has been absolutely amazing with some of these folks right here. And so in all the areas that we don't know what to do, they're able to tell us what to do and kind of teach us and help us grow. And so those partnerships have been invaluable. Some of the success stories that I'd like to share about the program is not every student is a success story. Some students have been with us the entire year since we started, and we've seen very little success. However, they are getting the love and attention that they're not getting at home. And that makes them happy. And so, so we're not always going to see quick progress with students, but like the student that moved up a grade, we have students that that used to crash out. One of the students on the presentation would absolutely crash out, run, swing, hit, be violent, and now he still crashes out, but mainly for 1 or 2 minutes. And that's huge. That's really huge. And then I'd also like to highlight the other side, which is the school side of the program, is that the classrooms are more comfortable, they're more productive, they're more efficient. And all the additives we'd added to the program since it has been a pilot has been all through communications with the schools and the district, but mainly the schools, the principals, the teachers, and the counselors. And so the newest thing we implemented, which we started 2 weeks ago, is once we send a kid back to school, they get a shadow from our program to go with them. And that shadow stays with them for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, or like our young man Sebastian, for 2 hours in the middle of the day to help them remember all the things that we've taught them. Sometimes our language doesn't match up with the teacher's language, but the more we iron that out and we're all a unified team, the more the students understand what they're supposed to do. And so the BIP meeting's absolutely necessary. We're all on the same page. We're using the same correction, the same gentle reminders, and we all have the same faces. Besides that, I've worked for many, many places in my decade of working with at-risk youth. The only vulnerability that I've experienced working in this program is lack of financial transparency has been an extreme struggle for me. That's something we have to tackle if we move forward in any way. I've always had access to a budget so that I can understand what I'm spending, where it's going, and what I have left. I haven't been able to have that for the 6 months in this program. It's made it really difficult to execute a pilot program really well, not knowing what finances I have, where they're going, or what we have left. And so I've had to, for about 3 months, raise money on my own to supplement for things in the program that I felt like we already had. And so I feel like we can do better at financial transparency. A lot of donors that want to support our program will only support it. And believe me, we don't want only support from the district. We want it from the entire community. We want everybody to participate in intervening in our kids' lives. But they will only donate to places with financial transparency. And it has to be a must. And if you can tell, Levi doesn't get nervous, but I'm nervous now because I love the program. It is my dream job. I've been praying about and just searching for a program like this to intervene in the kids' lives at a younger age, because then I don't have too many teenagers to approach. But the program is absolutely amazing. It is being executed well, but we do need more staff. It's a must. Putting in 10 to 16 hours a day to make it successful, and all the tutors that come, we need incentives for the tutors. We need to be able to show them we appreciate them and to have the ability to do that. Otherwise, if the tutors disappear, me and Courtney and Miss Kylie, we're handling 20 students, and there's no longer one-on-one attention. There's no longer time to sit them down, look them in the eyes, understand and listen, because this is our greatest tool, guys. This is our greatest tool. It's not what we can tell them, it's what we can listen to about them, especially with the mental and emotional health. And so, so we need more staffing for it to be executed well in the future. We need more partnerships for it to be executed well in the future. And we need more support financially, especially transparency. We need to be able to understand, as the director and the program manager, how much we have, where it's going, what we have left, and to be able to use it as we need and as the students need. And with that ability, this program will go 20 or 30 years. Thanks for your time.
Okay, thank you. Do you all have any questions? A lot of you all visit us. Do you all have any questions for us?
I'm welcome to answer any too. I just was too shaky to stand up, sorry.
And we want to thank you, once again, it is open our prayer that, we can continue this program. As you can see, there is a lot of input. It's a lot of services that just go unnoticed, but the community buy-in is just off the chart. So we just hope and pray that this board will consider continue this program, and it's only going to be strengthened as we go each day. It brings challenges, but the challenges is the things that we're up to facing head on. So we want to say once again, thank you very much.
Yes, and back to the reason we doing this presentation is to increase for 10 students and to see if there's a possible opportunity to extend the program for next year.
25, 26, yeah.
So
Thank
I
you.
do have a couple questions for you. Courtney, if you could go to the last slide. So tonight, just so that so my board understands the bottom line, tonight for the additional 10 students, it's that number that's not highlighted in the yellow line for $71,000. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
That's, yeah.
Okay, and then the 371,000 would be the total contract for this year if we approve the 71,000 tonight, correct?
That is I think that is what we had. That's the initial amount. But I don't know if there needs to be a meeting to talk about some of the needs we need, because we are understaffed. So we would like to either talk about increasing that amount so that we can cover more, especially since we are getting, we're looking at getting 10 more students as well. And I remember one of the meetings, I forgot which board member saw that we didn't have play equipment in the back, and that's been increasing the fighting and things like that. So we do need equipment, and if we utilize that same amount, we wouldn't be able to get some of the things that we need.
And if I'm understanding you, yeah, that was initial funding. The 3+ was the initial, but to finish out this school year, it's the 71. Is that what we were
Is the
requesting?
additional 10.
Yes, for the additional 10 students.
Now, one of the things that I want to bring forward is, for my board, is that the additional 10 for the rest of the year is the 71,000. That's on the bottom there. The bigger question that I have is, if we were to extend this program, I would ask that my board ask for, or the district would ask for a total budget for next year.
Mhm.
For the
Okay.
30 students.
With 30 students,
Yes.
to be brought back to our board, for us to consider. I feel very comfortable recommending to my board tonight the recommendation for the motion to kind of read to the order of increase the program to an additional 10 students to bring it up to 30 for the rest of the year at the $71,000 figure that's below us, but that to consider next year's extension, I would ask that you bring back a comprehensive budget for the 25, 26 school year.
Yeah, yeah. And if
Okay.
it's, would that be something that we could maybe get on the agenda for next meeting?
Well, that's partially up to my board, and also part of our communication back and forth, so that, we feel comfortable, specifically Andrew and the cabinet, bringing that forward. But, to go to what Levi's talking about, total transparency, we want total transparency, not only throughout the district, but throughout the community. And we just want to be able to, go through it systematically, so that everybody kind of understands, especially my board, what a budget next year would look like and what would entail with itemized lists. So.
You bet. Absolutely.
Now-
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, if we increase it to 10, we definitely need at least 2 more part-time people.
No, and I think that you've shared that and made that very clear, and I think it's a very reasonable request. Board, do you have any questions? Well, that's my request, just because for us, just, we can, board, we can extend this contract for next year. Yeah. It's not the 371, it's the 71,000.
And I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I'll handle it. Yeah, we're gonna have to increase our staff. Yes, yes. Mhm.
I don't know.
Transparency.
That's before us right now. Has staff and things on it. So maybe this is something that we need to sit down with you guys, sure that we have this ironed out, so we're all on the same page, because I'm confused about what transparency is.
I can clear that up if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. At the beginning of the program, there was 2 line budgets that I was going to be hyper focused on. One was supplies, because supplies are important when you have students. The other was food. And those line budgets, there was 10,000 per quarter for supplies, 5,000 per quarter for food. And each quarter, we've spent about 3,000 out of supplies and very little out of food, but don't have access to any of the other funds, and those funds aren't there.
Yeah.
And I don't know where they went. I've only seen a budget one time in the last 6 months. And so I'm getting donations from the community to fill the gaps that I thought we had finances to fill. And so transparency and understanding would help us all move forward effectively.
And we do have that, our finance person, she's not here tonight, but yeah, we do have all that. We're want to be good stewards over what we got. So we got to be very conservative when it comes to funding, but there's no lack. We've got, all the finances is there. There's no need to, panic. We can give you whatever you need. So, but we'll pick this up and we'll share with,
So my question, I just want to be very clear, Levi. So what you see before you is very similar to what we saw when we passed the first.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
And once we have a contract and we sign that contract, this is, we give you that money, right? How you spend that money is within your own organization.
Yeah.
How you said, okay, this is how we're gonna, spend this money.
Mhm.
So, if you need more money for supplies, you go within your own contract and try to massage that. And you come back to us and ask for more money, which, we're gonna give $71,000 if we approve it tonight. And then that money goes to your program.
It doesn't. I haven't had access to the money we were given the first time, which is why I'm a bit frustrated. Because I haven't had access to what the numbers have shown. I've had access to 1/3 or 1/4 of what the numbers have shown with no explanation or transparency. And so that makes it difficult for me to do the job or to communicate about the program or to even come and ask for that 71,000 because I don't know what's going to happen with it. I don't know how we're going to use it, but I can tell you that with the money that we were given at the beginning of the program, has not all been part of youth intervention. Otherwise, some of the orders we put in would have been approved, or some of the things we asked for that was within the budget and within that line. I've been told that we're out of money and that we can't spend. And I've asked probably 6 or 7 times about a financial budget so I can plan the entire year from the second month in the program, and I can't plan the year because I don't know what we have or what's being spent. And so if that's not something we can tackle, I won't be able to continue to lead the program because that's very important to me.
I think
Transparency,
I can-
honesty
Yeah.
is very important to me.
I think I can clear that up. It's very important that, we all share in our own lane. And when it comes to the finances, we do have a finance team that's in place that handles that and it trickles down. But this is something that we would like to just carry on. So if we can just, once again, be good stewards over the time we have tonight, just want to reassure you that I have a ton of respect in this town and responsibility. So I can assure you that everything is top notch and in place. And you have my word on that. So if we could just maybe move forward from here with your directives, we'll be,
And I'll be following up with you guys.
okay, great. Okay.
Any other questions?
Any
from the
more
board?
questions?
So they're given presented a budget very, very similar to this at the beginning of the program, the one that's on the screen. And our responsibility was to give them the amount of money that what happened on the inside, I think, is where there's confusion. And so that squared away.
Yeah. Okay. And we'll be willing to work with you, Andrew, in that area there. But yeah, we're independent.
And I know if we can
Yes.
tackle that, this community is ready to fully support financially and sacrifice a lot for this program. You all know how well connected I am with the churches and all the people in the community. And that's all they want is transparency, and they want to know where their money's going before they support it. And that would lighten up the load on the district a lot. Could be up to 300,000, between 1 and 300,000 is the potential. So it could be a community funded program if we can provide what the donors and the investors need.
Thank you. I think we could,
Do we still have a
is there any more questions from the board? Bess, do you have
So-
any more questions?
So board, I'd like to have a kind of I have a lot of questions now. I have more questions now than I did before the meeting. What is your direction for me?
I think we're mixing two different issues.
Yeah.
I mean, we have the issue of, are we going to extend it for the rest of this year with 10 more students and pay $71,000? Internally, it sounds like they're struggling over who's in charge of the budget. That's not our issue. We bought a service. I mean, if they pay one person $450,000, that's their problem. We still have the service that, we got. Now, we're transparent. It's really clear what we've done. I'm comfortable doing the $71,000 a night and allowing them the time necessary to figure out their budgeting and everything like that. And if there's not enough money in the budget for supplies and food and staff, bring us back a budget. I mean, I would suggest bringing back 2-3 budgets, the ultimate budget, with all the, bells and whistles, the bare bones, and somewhere in the middle. I mean, that's what I'm hearing here. I mean, I don't think that there's, from our perspective, any issue with transparency. I mean, at least that's what I'm taking from this. And I don't think that what's going on, with the program is too far off. I don't think anybody's too far off. I think it's just a matter of its pilot program, and there needs to be probably further clarification of what we're doing, how we're doing it. I mean, what those costs are, because maybe the best of intention was it was going to be $10,000, but you know what? It ended up costing 15 because it's the first year. I mean, so because it's a pilot. So, I mean, I think we owe them this. They've done a great job. Afford them the time necessary to build something out and bring it back to us that will work for them, not
We can't
just.
do that.
And
we
I'm
can't do
not
that.
saying don't go into this, wanting a Corvette and bringing me a Pinto Price. I mean, if anybody knows what a Pinto is.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead and get the Corvette.
And I think
Or
that's what we
ask
did.
for it. I mean, and then we can work from there.
Andrew says those are very expensive and hard to find, so.
They made
A lot of glass.
Yeah, and just for
And-
clarity, I don't think it's a moral or ethical issue. I just think that's something, if that gets ironed out, this is gonna be so much successful because the community wants to support it. And we want to provide what they need to support it.
Well, I think, thank you, Bill, for sharing that. I think we're very transparent on, we're buying a service, right? This is a contract. And we've paid up to what we approved last time, which is in the neighborhood of, $300,000 or whatever it might be. And I'm going to recommend to our board that we make, when the time comes, that there's a motion made to move forward with this program with an additional of approving additional 10 spots at the cost of that figure of $71,524 to carry us through the rest of this year, and then ask, like Mr. LaGrone has said, bring us back multiple budgets as we look at extending this contract for next year.
Thank you.
And I do want to sit there and say, I do appreciate the presentation and see that we do have success stories and, the program has filled up quite fast. And we do see the need in the community, and this is a program that is helping children not only with their behavioral issues, but it is also extending towards the families to where families are having more togetherness, and they're starting to see where the issues may lay at hand of the reasons of why they can't get to school. So now they're enjoying the fact that they're able to go to a program where it's a little bit less classroom space, to where they can sit there and get that attention that they may need, that they don't get in a regular classroom setting. And so with the progress that we do have with these children, I think that for the board, our job tonight is, we see the value of the program. We see that the need is there. And our job is tonight to forward this program and to sit there and see, is this something that we recommend that is worthy of the community?
Dr. Holtum, if we could, if we're done with the presentation, can we move ahead in the agenda to item number 10A, while it's still fresh in our mind, and deal with this business right now?
Yeah.
And as moving forward, as we do that, I need to handle over this part to my Vice President, Sandra Barnes, and I will definitely excuse myself at this time.
Yes, and so what we'll do is Sandra will ask for a motion, and we'll make that very clear, and then that's what we'll vote on and approve, and then we can move forward with, and we'll invite them back to present another budget to the
extend.
to the district, and then we'll bring it back to the board.
You bet.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the OSCIA Youth Intervention proposal of the remaining 71,000 for the last of the 25 school year, February to June.
I'll make a motion. We approve the proposal for 10 additional slots in an amount not to exceed the 71,000, I'm gonna say $72,000 for fiscal year or school year 24-25.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And in the interest of transparency, we have snacks and water if you need some.
Thank you. We will now move on to public hearing session. Independent Auditors Report of Oroville City Elementary School District financials as of June 30th, 2024.
So you should have a copy of the audit from this last fiscal year. It's late this year, and the reason it's late has to do with the addition of the state preschool program. So our audit had some large addition, took additional time. To summarize this year's audit, which this year it was like it just seemed like it never ended. I was answering questions. February, and wrapped it up in November. So I felt like the audit was very thorough. Really turned over a lot of stones, looking around, sniffing around for things. And if you turn to page 92 and 93, there are no findings. We have a totally clean audit. Though I do feel like they looked. So it's been an extra 3 months on me. So that's the audit as presented. I do believe it's accurate. I do feel like Shavin and Associates does a good job. They have a pretty high quality team that they send down. We spend a lot of time going back and forth.
Thank you, Andrew. We do appreciate the wonderful job that you do. It doesn't go unnoticed, so we thank you for staying on top of things like that. We love to hear that, no findings. Thank you so much.
It's definitely not just me. It's a team effort with
Mhm.
everybody in the business office and including our people who run our ASB programs and our, programmatic people that are entering information into Aries. All this stuff is audited. Not the person that presents it, but I will share your thanks with all of them.
Thank you so much. Does the board have any questions? Okay. Action session. Public comments on action items. The board will extend invitation to interested parties who wish to speak on items that are listed on the agenda. For those attending remotely who wish to comment, use the raise your hand button to be called on to speak. The Brown Act does not allow the governing board to discuss or take action on any item that is not on the posted agenda. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes per person and 20 minutes per subject. Is there anybody online?
No, there's not.
Is there anybody that would like to comment on action items? Okay, we'll now move on to the consent agenda. Okay. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I had a question about the agenda, the consent one, on the attendance agreements.
Mhm.
It seems like a lot of students leaving is our FFA program in the works, anything helping us to keep some of these?
Yeah, so
A lot of
I
students.
actually am glad you brought that up. I'm happy to speak to that this evening publicly, that we are looking at those very carefully. In years past, when other surrounding districts have programs that we do not have in our district, we have to go ahead and allow people to go to those other districts, because if they were to appeal, they have that right, but it's also ed code, and we do our due diligence to follow the ed code. Well, we have worked really hard to build our master schedule for next year, and we do anticipate having sections of ag next year, so that as students who are looking to go to Palermo in years past, we've had to let them go. We are now going to let them know that we have access to an ag program within our own district, and we'll be denying those. A lot of the attendance agreements that you see this evening are ones that are siblings, so a lot of them are kind of automatic. But I did share with Kim, as these new agreements are coming in, because this is the time of year that they do them, that I will be reviewing them individually one by one. And now that we have something in place, we will be denying the ones that don't qualify. And in years past, we've been a little more lenient. And this year, because of our declining enrollment, we really are going to pay a lot more attention, and I will be denying a lot more.
Thank you. Does the board have any more questions? Okay, can I get a motion to approve on the consent items on the agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda items.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstain? Pass with 5 yes votes. Okay, we will now move on to the approve the 2025-26 school calendar.
It is recommended that the board approve one of the two options being proposed for the 25-26 calendar. If you remember last month, this was a discussion item, and we discussed this at length. And tonight, the board has the opportunity of choosing one of two options, and then voting on it this evening. Essentially, if you remember, one of the options is to have a October break, and the other is to forego the October break and keep the calendar very similar to the calendar that we currently have.
Spencer, can you refresh my memory? Which was the one that was preferred? Was that number one?
Second.
It was draft two, which
Was the
does not
second one.
include the October
Mhm.
break, and that was OETA's right there. When they spoke
Thank
last
you.
month, they did not want the October break. The one thing that we did investigate the fact that we're gonna need some transportation during that week.
And Andrew, how are we?
Yeah, I talked to the Mobile High School. I believe they were talking about maybe $25,000 to $30,000 to do the transportation for that. But they also felt like that probably wasn't going to be possible because it's again off shift for their staff.
Mhm.
So this is something that we would have to, as a district, come up with an alternative plan as to how we want to address that. And I do think, given the limited number of routes that we have right now with the high school, I don't think that would be insurmountable to make that adjustment. I really don't. So
I also think that we'd be able to give those parents plenty of forewarning so that they can prepare for an alternative transportation option for their own family. But again, we still have the option of asking them to provide those busings. They just can't guarantee to us that there's going to be willingness from their bus drivers to do those days. But I will also say that right now, nobody wants to do that. But when push comes to shove and, you need to get new tires on your Jeep, somehow you're like, oh, maybe if I work those extra days, then, I can pay for those, things like that, right now they're saying no, but I think we can work that out.
speculating that it's going to be challenging to get drivers for that whole week. They would be making,
Right, but are they even asking?
but speculating.
So in the off chance that we don't have anybody to drive, and we have to rely on our parents, there's two questions that come through, and one of them is what is going to be the reduction in ADA on that week?
Mhm.
And then the second, do we have a catch-all that, vouchers or something that we can forward for transportation? Ubers, taxi, whatever.
So when we have other transportation challenges, we have a variety of tools we can use, ranging from reimbursing parents for mileage, a variety of things that we can work on. And there are also some other services. So I do think there are ways.
Saying they have a vehicle in the first place.
Right. So I think there are some ways to get into it. And I also don't think this isn't like most of our population is students.
For sure.
Small portion of our population. So it might be the sort of thing that we're able to look at and find some way to work that out. And I do think we have a van available that we could. So I think we would be able to work through it. I don't think that it's going to be something that's
Insurmountable.
I don't think
Okay.
it's going to be necessarily on ADA where we would be able to do like a J13, where it's,
Oh, no.
Mhm.
I don't think it's going to be
No.
like many percent different.
And what were the days off for?
Just an October break. And what that would cause is us to start earlier in August. And so, because in the school year, we have to have 180 days.
Mhm.
And how we break that up is up to the local school district. But what we have right now is something that people are used to. The only reason we're looking at this option is because the high school's looking at having an October break, which obviously throws off our transportation. But like Andrew shared, I think it's not insurmountable. We don't have a lot of kids that utilize transportation because we have a shortage of bus drivers. They have a shortage of bus drivers. So with this much forewarning, we can definitely mitigate that. And I also think that when it comes to that time, they'll be able to provide us at least a few drivers, and we're going to have to accommodate, but those kids will still have an opportunity to get to school.
So does the board have any questions? So because it's two different ones, we would have to,
So just make a motion of which draft you would like to approve. And draft 2 is the one that we're talking about that does not include the October break. So just make a motion to approve school calendar draft number 2.
so does everybody agree with draft number 2?
I make a motion we approve draft number 2.
Okay, can I get a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstain? Pass with 5 yes votes. Approve OCSD's 2025-26 Comprehensive Safety Plan.
So or if you're on the safety committee, you know, there are a lot of discussions about some expanded parts of the comprehensive safety plan. This comprehensive safety plan, the reason that it's here now without the expanded parts is that we have to adopt it time of year, the applicable laws and updates. So the one we're working on in the safety committee will be early on the cycle, but this is the official one. So we would check all the boxes the state wants checked for our safety plan. We did have this reviewed by, I can't think of the name of their company anymore. They said it met all of the, it met all the different criteria that the state needs for our comprehensive safety plan. We do have a lot of discussion about individual schools having appendixes with some different, action things, and also perhaps having an element of this plan that is private and an element that is public. This would be the public side of it. The private side would include things like relocation points and things that are tactically inappropriate to share with the public. So, yes, this isn't the end all be all of safety plans, but we are working on it in the safety committee and working on making. Decide very hard on some things that they would like to add, and once we have examples, probably we'll have all the sites and hopefully bring back something that is robust and also has some pieces that aren't going to be able to be publicly published.
So what we're approving tonight is basically what we had.
Right.
Before.
It's basically the bare bones with all of the appropriate updates for all of the changes in California law.
Does the board have any questions? Can I get a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the comprehensive safety plan for 25-26.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstain? Pass with 5 yes votes. D, approve memorandum of understanding with Orville Elementary Teachers Association outdoor camps.
It is recommended that the MOU with OETA be approved regarding certificated employees working at Shady Creek Outdoor Camp and other outdoor camps during the 24-25 and 25-26 school year. And basically what this does is our certificated staff are at a 24-hour a day outdoor camp. And so they have to be on call 24 hours a day. And so when they do this, in years past, in our contract, they would get monetary compensation or comp days for those, for that extra time. And we don't, the district, we don't love comp days. So, because that impacts substitutes and different things like that. And so what we wanted to do is compensate the teachers at a rate of $500 a day that they're at these outdoor camps. So for example, we had 4 or 5 teachers that went to the outdoor camps Monday through Wednesday of this week, and they'll get an additional $500 a day because they're sleeping up there, taking care of kids that get sick in the middle of the night, calling parents, doing all those things after hours that they wouldn't normally be doing.
Does the board have any questions? Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU with OETA doing outdoor camps.
Can I get a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstain? Pass with 5 yes votes. Business and Finance, accept auditor's 2023-24 financial report for Orville City Elementary School District.
So this is the approval of the audit that we were presented with earlier.
Okay, thank you. Did the board have any questions? Can I get a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the audit that had no findings.
The second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstain? Pass with 5 yes votes. Approve 2024-25 second interim budget adjustments and financial report.
So I've presented with you a new one pager, different looking one. And we used some of the same charts and graphs, but I added some different features for second interim. Second interim is the update to the update. So at second interim, you're really not going to see a lot of changes from the first interim budget, where first interim budget is a dramatic change from original budget. There's a lot to explain. And this is almost identical to the first interim budget, except there were a few changes that I highlighted here. You can see we received $71,000 in Title IV, the rural school funds, I'm sorry, Title V, but also had some increases in some of our special ed costs and lost some LCFF revenues because of the change in the COLA. Some of the things I wanted to highlight and sort of talk about since I have an opportunity. Across the top, I added some fun facts. And one of the things, as you kind of go across, you can see with the size of our budget and how many students and families that we serve. And then you can see 72,000 messages have gone home this year. So this is on our Parent Square system. And this includes messages that teachers send to their classes. This includes messages that principals send out or messages we send out. Includes messages that the office or the program itself by itself sends. Hey, your student is tardy or sick. So you can see with 700 families at the end of this year, it'll be over 100,000 messages that we've sent out. And I think that it kind of talks about the sort of the volume and the change in what we're doing about 10, 15 years ago, where everything that went home was a piece of paper or a physical phone call. Getting much, much more now with our families on a much more regular basis. And I wanted to highlight that for you. The other two things I wanted to highlight, or I guess low light. This is our average attendance. Our attendance, this is the exact same from first interim, but it's orange. And our average daily attendance continues to slide. Projecting to continue to reduce by 2% a year. Again, we're hoping that we find a bottom at some point. And again, last time we talked about this, talking about academies, bringing an ag program, things that we can do to really fight to keep students in our school district, because I believe that best educational options for students in our town. And the other slide is our ending fund balance. You can see it slides down as we're deficit spending significantly in our multi-year projection. And the nature of that has to do with, because we're in a state of declining enrollment, we're catch up with the funding we're not getting, right? We're built for a bigger system. And we're getting less money, we have less kids, and so and typically that's meant, reduction of classes. So perhaps we won't have as many teachers next year as we did this year. But you can't just, make the reduction to exactly come packaged nicely as 24 students at one school at one grade level. When students don't show up. So we're sort of chasing. That's been the challenge. He was up a tiny bit. So we'd love to see some fire. Really love to see some up tiny bit ones. But that's been the story of our budget the entire time, is we're continuing to try to chase those cuts, make those cuts to decline, and we continue to right size. And these are things that's not discussing at this time, but as our ADA continues to drop from 10 years ago, 2,500, this year we're at 1,900, and we continue to slide down. At some point, we'll have to start having those conversations, but not right now. Again, second interim budget is just an update to the update. Very little has changed. And it's just a time for me to kind of reiterate the things that we talked about at first interim. I believe that everything in the second interim budget is accurate and correct.
Thank you. I do appreciate this at the top, the hardworking staff and how many people. I like that. And the messages, I know that when I was in school, I did not take home 72,000 letters from school. So I do appreciate the fact that there's more communication between the school system and the parents, that the parents are being well informed. Because I get it from the high school. I get things all the time, whether it be that police is on campus or, there was an accident and everything was okay. So I do appreciate that. And the communication is definitely there, and it is valuable for parents to know what's going on in the kids' school. Does the board have any questions or any comments? Okay. Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Can I get a second? All those in favor? Aye. Any noes? Abstain? Pass with 5 yes votes. Personnel, adopt resolution 242508, intent to dismiss certificated employees.
Certificated employees. So that can be a little misleading. Intent to dismiss. This is actually a reduction in force, but we follow that language. These are the coaching positions, teacher coach positions that we brought into the district a couple years ago, as we had some very specified funds to support that program. It was very successful, but as we start to get in a point where we are in deficit spending and shrinking, we need to start looking at shrinking our workforce as well. One of these positions was not filled this year because the employee resigned just before the start of the year and we were unable to fill it. The other employee that is in this classification of job will be moved to another position in the district through natural attrition of replacing somebody or that is either retired or not coming back next year. So nobody's losing their job over this, just losing positions.
Thank you. Does the board have any questions or comments? Can I get a motion?
Make a motion, we adopt resolution 24-25-08. The intent to dismiss certificated employees for the workforce reduction necessary.
Can I get a second?
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstain? Pass with 5 yes votes. Approve personnel recommendation. Ayachi?
Yep. Good work.
Thank you.
So, we've done several of these over the past couple months. This is another, through a grant-supported program, we are adding another full-time social worker who is currently in a school social worker program to get their full credential. But right now, this individual does have multiple degrees in social work, including a master's or working to that. We're asking for a waiver because this person is still in the process in the program of getting their full credential. We have to ask for a waiver until she finishes the program later on this year.
Okay, does the board have any questions or comments? Can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstain? Pass with 5 yes votes. This meeting is adjourned at 6:26.
That long?
Just like to remind everyone that we have a very quick special board meeting at this time. You will, yes.